After divorce, there's one decision that feels heavier than all the others. It's not about budgeting. It's not about investing. It's about your home, the place where your life happened, the place that still holds memories, routines, and sometimes silence. And at some point the question appears, should I keep the house or should I sell it? It sounds like a financial decision, but most of the time, it isn't. It's emotional, it's practical, and it's deeply personal. And when a decision carries that much weight, it's easy to make it for the wrong reasons. So instead of rushing to an answer, let's slow this down, because the goal isn't just to decide. It's to decide without regret later. A home is not just an asset. It represents stability, familiarity, identity. After divorce, when so much has changed, the house can feel like the last piece of something stable. Keeping it can feel like holding on to control. Selling it can feel like losing something, even if it makes sense financially. That's why many women don't struggle with the numbers. They struggle with what the decision represents. One of the most common patterns is deciding based on emotion first, and justifying it with logic later. Keeping the house because it feels safe, selling the house because it feels like a fresh start. Neither of these reasons are wrong, but on their own, they're incomplete, because a house is also a financial structure, and structure needs to be sustainable. This is where clarity becomes essential. Keeping a house means more than keeping the mortgage. It includes maintenance, repairs, property taxes, insurance, unexpected costs. Sometimes, the real cost of a home is much higher than it appears at first. And after divorce, financial margins are often tighter. So the question becomes, can this house support my new financial reality? Not your past, your present. Keeping the house may be the right decision when the cost fits comfortably within your independent baseline. You have enough cash reserves, your stability buffer. The home does not create financial pressure. It supports your current lifestyle, not your past one. In this case, the house becomes a place of stability, not a source of stress. Selling may be the stronger decision when the cost creates constant financial pressure. Your cash reserves would be too low after keeping it. The house is larger than your current needs. It limits your ability to rebuild financially. Selling is not losing. Sometimes, it's creating flexibility. And flexibility can be one of the most valuable assets after divorce. This decision is not permanent. It's contextual. You are not deciding what to do with this house for the rest of your life. You are deciding what best supports your life right now. And right now, your priority is not nostalgia. It's stability. If there's one thing to remember, it's this. The best decision is not the one that feels right today. It's the one that continues to feel right 6 months from now, and a year from now, because stability is not emotional, it's structural. This video is part of the first 12 months after divorce series, where we focus on building a strong financial foundation step by step. In the next episode, we'll talk about how to rebuild your financial confidence after divorce, not just your numbers, but your If you want calm, structured guidance, subscribe to Quiet Wealth for Women, because rebuilding your life isn't about rushing. It's about choosing well and building quietly.